Hey, on this episode, you're watching Believing in Your Potential. Tune in. Hello, everyone. I'm with. Wait, what's your name again?
Neng.
It looks something like this.
Oh, yeah, Neng. Travel phenomenon, entertainer, content creator, author, and speaker. I'm here with the one and only Smiley Face Man. All right, sounds good. So let's get right into it. Neng, so tell me, before the views, before the traveling, you left success to chase a dream. Tell us about that history, about before you were actually known for what you did.
Yeah, it's a risk growing up as, I did in Wisconsin. You don't have Wisconsin's not the most exciting state in the world. No one is like, I want to go to Wisconsin, right? But it worked out for me. I graduated from Harvard with a degree in biology, then did some biology after school. I even published some scientific research.
Yeah.
I think at one point it was like, that was it. And I had to move to Monterey, California to pursue this. It was a pilot position. So I was the first one at this position. They created it just for me. It was basically public education in Spanish and English in marine biology, which was like my dream at the time. And it was a great job. I loved it. I think one of the biggest factors that pushed me away from that is Monterey was not the town for me. It was a really small town, about 30,000 people, and it's the most beautiful place I've ever lived. Some of the most protected coastline in the world, enormous marine sanctuaries. It's like national parks underwater, so great diving, and I love diving, so I was perfect in that manner. But it was just a horrible place to spend your 20s. I think if you're raising kids, especially if you're retired, Monterey is the perfect spot.
Yeah.
But as a 20-something-year-old, I felt like being there, I wasn't making any friends, I wasn't making any connections, I wasn't growing. And they say after college, those 5 years after college, those are going to be some of the most formative years in terms of your career and what you want to do. Whatever you do during those 5 years, you end up doing a lot of that for the rest of your working life, which is, standard is the other 40 years in the future, but retirement age is long. It's past 65 now, so it's gonna be more than 40 years for our generation. It's gonna be 50, 60 years until we get to retire. So I was do I really want to be spending my life in this small town where I'm not growing for the next even 5 years, which might set me up for the next 60 years? And then the answer was no. So I decided I wanted something bigger, and that's where traveling came in, and go big or go home, right?
Right. Going off that, you want to go big or go home. You said first, you were making friends. You're looking at the bigger picture, big go home, and go I'm gonna retire here and this is it, right? You're not feeling fulfilled. But out of all of that, was it a collective thing, or was it kind of what was the driving force about leaving your position you worked so hard for?
Yeah, I think it wasn't it was leaving behind success, and that is scary. But I think you just have that confidence of, I know there's something bigger out there, and really knowing that failure doesn't exist until you decide that it can exist. That it's the only way you fail is to quit and not chase that dream anymore. I think that's the only real definition of failure. If you're chasing something every single day and you get 1% better every single day, that's not failure to me. So just knowing that I could grow so much more, and the pushing factor was potential.
Potential.
Yeah, it was that. If I could sum it in one word, it would be potential.
Wow. Okay.
Potential. So it was that potential there for success, for greatness, for something better? No idea. Still don't know. I don't think anyone does, but it's the potential, taking the risk to get that potential. So taking risk for something that doesn't even exist is and it's kind of exciting,
Yeah, exciting.
It's both a responsibility but a privilege. So beautiful if you look at it as a privilege to chase that. And it's kind of scary if you're this is my responsibility to do this, and it's a mix of both, but I think if you focus a little bit more on it being a privilege that not everyone has, especially being in your 20s, having time, that's your biggest asset. I think that was what my foundation for pushing me to doing that is time. I have time, you know. I can do this for a year. I can do it for 2, maybe even after 3. You know, I quit when I was 24. It's like 3 years seems like a long time, right?
Yep.
That's more than 10% of my life because 24, you know, 3, and then it was like that seems like a long time, but
It does.
3 years. If I fail, doesn't work after 3 years. If I decide I want to do something else, I'll be 27, and I'm like 27 is still really really young, you know.
Yep. I agree.
So time is was my biggest asset, and I understand that I'm really lucky to come to that conclusion and to have that time. And time is a big thing that some people have more of it than others. So it is self-awareness as well. Yeah.
So going off that, so obviously it's apparent that before getting to the side where you became like a travel guy
Yeah.
and doing all this cool traveling on videos you did, there was a mindset, right? There's
Yeah.
a mindset. You see things differently. Obviously, how long were you working in your position for as a scientist again?
You know, after college it was 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, 2
So,
years. Yeah,
2 years of
jobs.
comfortability, and
Yeah.
then you started thinking different, right?
Yeah.
But most people think, oh, after college, especially for the younger folks out there watching this, you're after college, oh, I'm in debt, I need to get my job. And some people, it takes them longer. Some think they get lucky, like, not lucky,
Yeah,
they get
it's
lucky,
okay,
but
yeah.
they get done, they get their job right, and they're working. But then
Yeah.
they realize, like, is this what I really worked so
Yeah.
hard for? So before we get right into the content creation portion, how that started going, everything and traveling, what did your parents think? Obviously, you're from a Hmong background,
Yeah.
my man. What did your parents say? They say, son, you're no longer my son. Did you lose the trophy title? Because I mean, obviously, you went to Harvard, not every
Yeah,
kid
yeah,
go to Harvard and
uh-huh.
graduate actually and get the degree. What happened, my man?
You know, that's a great question. I think
What do they think?
I would be lying
do you
if I said that they supported me 100%. They would be lying. I
Oh,
think
wow.
any parents would be lying, right? Because, and you know, it makes sense. I think one day I want to be a parent.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think as a parent, I'm the oldest of 6 siblings, so I'm like kind of a parent in that way. Like if my siblings even told me like I want to do this kind of unsecure thing, I would be like, are you sure? Like, I don't know. And it's like, it makes sense, right? It makes sense why like my parents were hesitant on it, and I had this like good, stable, like great job, which you know I loved, but just wasn't like in love with it. It was paying the bills. I was even saving a lot of money, so it was, you know, they were not 100% supportive, but I don't think any parent would be, you know.
So did
Makes
they
sense.
So did they? Sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah,
did they
no.
say anything? Think about it back then now. In the past, what did they say directly to you? They said
Directly,
deep,
yeah,
like your
I
dad and
remember
mom, what did
exactly
say?
what
What
they
did
said, you
Whether
know,
Hmong, English, what did they say?
I told them, and my mom only speaks Hmong.
Only speaks Hmong?
So
Okay.
she was basically said, you know, work for 2 more years, and then decide what you want to do. My dad said, just whatever, do your thing, you know. But it doesn't work out, come back, find a wife, get married, come live with me and your mom.
Yeah.
So I was
So
like,
how do you say that in Hmong? Say that in Hmong.
"Ya có muốn nó tao chỉ tất cả lo yếu bao nhiêu thiếu bao nhiêu lo nhon đó." And then I was like, and my mom's like, "Cái chú họ lựa bé xong rồi, tao bé xong gì cho rồi có yếu muốn gì thế theo là mà muốn gì thế chơi tao mình gì nhẹ thế mà khó vậy." I don't know what word she used it, but it was kind of like insurance, you know, like that. Like you can come back and have a little pocket of money, probably to find a wife and get married. You know, marriage is the big thing. You know, the goal of like what I like talk is not like quit your job and like don't listen to your parents. That's not the goal. The goal is really like follow through on that merit, whatever it is. I'm really on the side of merit. I think like sometimes people listen to the like follow your dreams and like don't do what your parents tell you to do, which like that's great too, but I'm like really on more the side of like merit. Follow your dreams, or you better like really follow through on them, you know, because that's what all parents, even good friends, you know, they're worried about you. Like if you're gonna go on a venture, I'll be like, Don, like, are you sure you really want to do that? And it would take like some, it would like take, yes, it would take you like really saying yes until I like had faith in you as well. And you know, like parents, in the Hmong culture, it's really weird because I think like only until our generation have you like could be friends with your parents. Like back in the day, it was like they were your mentor, and that was like it. You know, like
They're your
parents,
parents only,
they were not your friends. And it's really only recently because you know I was born in Thailand, so my parents is like, you know, generation 0 and like generation half.
Yeah.
And it's like only recently, and it took them, you know, that was 25 years of us being in the U.S. for them to now finally like starting to like become my friend in a way, if you want. And I think what that like the switch when that happened was like I'm the oldest of 6. So I had, the oldest, you go through like all your parents like
yeah? Oh, you're the
changing.
oldest?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it was like,
Wow.
it wasn't until my youngest brother, he just left for college now. So now my parents are like home alone most of the time. And then they're finally like, oh man, our kids don't want to come back home. Like, so it is, things are changing. It is phenomenal to see that like cultural clash and like that cultural like growth together. So it's very interesting. Yeah.
I think that's great though. When you the land opportunity, like you mentioned in your speech the other day about America, the dream is still real.
Yeah.
And coming from immigrant background, because obviously you were born here. How old were you came here again?
I was little, 2.
Like 2,
yeah.
okay. But then he was raised in Madison, Madison, Wisconsin. Shout out Wisconsin, Midwest. Hey.
Yeah.
But as well, coming from that, now you have to have parents with different mindset, different type of philosophy. Staying in school is bad, but you prove yourself and honoring them still. Because everyone's like, nowadays it's popular to say your parents don't know what you want for you, chase your dreams.
Yeah.
But hey, if you really want to go after what you set out to do, you say, hey, you know what? Here's my mindset. This is what I'm gonna do. This is my plan. But you also at the same time are honoring your parents by letting them know, hey, this is what I would do.
Yeah.
And just kind of seeking their counsel.
Yeah, you have to really follow through again. Like
Follow
when
through,
I
there
was
we go.
like saying,
merit. Okay.
my parents said don't stay after school, and then I stayed after school all the time. They would tell me all the time don't do it, and then I got into Harvard. They
And
stopped.
then they're like, oh, that's why.
They
you did
stopped
that. So
telling me.
prove it
They
over
stopped
time.
telling
Okay.
my siblings. And you have to have those like pioneers both for yourself as well as other people. And they're like, don't move out to Seattle. Don't move out of California. No one is there. And I went there. I survived. Even at college. My mom she doesn't know what Harvard is.
Right.
Because she's not educated. So she was
What
like,
did you think it was? It was like some
weird
club,
school out
some
there,
weird school? Okay.
So
you trying to escape?
yeah, she was just like, go to UW Madison at home, 10-minute drive away. So go to UW Madison, and I think it wasn't until my uncle, her oldest brother, is like a counselor in California, a school counselor, and he was like, Blia, do you know this is like the best school in the world? So then I went, and my mom like stopped like complaining about that. And then I think like with the videos too, like she told me not to do it, and then I did it, and then now like a lot of her friends watch the videos, and then they talk to her about it,
Right.
and then she's like, oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So going up there now, let's go to the portion of travel and just leaving, because you left everything behind, right?
Yeah.
And then you tell us a little bit how you just left everything behind, and how in your story, like why travel? Why? Because everybody wants to go travel. I'm sure everybody loves to want to see sightseeing, experience the world, go on an adventure, right? Especially us young folks. But that's one outlet of dream. But why that one? And if someone doesn't want to travel, they don't want to create video because they're not comfortable.
Yeah.
And there's other forms of video, writing, audio. Like how do they, not only from their story, from why how that came to be, but how can they share their story? How can they go chase their dreams for just leaving everything
Yeah, it
behind
definitely
like that?
It definitely depends on the media too. Some
Okay.
people that not me like the media, but like the type of media is what I mean. They're like writing versus some people are great bloggers and they're amazing writers. Some people are amazing podcasters and they just talk really well and they get in that natural like comfortable flow of talking for an hour.
Okay.
So you pick the media that you feel that you're best with. Like right now, video seems to be like the big thing, and like everyone's doing it. But if you're not good at video, like don't do it. If you're not comfortable, if it's not what you want to do, don't do it.
But what would you say if people? But think about it. Who is good at video when they first do it? You know?
I think like no one
Like, were you
exactly.
good
No,
when you first started?
no.
Okay,
Like
okay.
you get better every day.
So better-
and that's,
okay,
like,
so not- that's
I'm
the
saying
fact.
like no one is like naturally good at it.
Okay.
You work on it and you grow better. But if
okay.
it really boils down to that kind of like, if you want to say primitive feeling of like, I know I want to write, or I'd rather write than I want to do video.
So it's trust instinct a little bit.
Yeah,
So trust instinct more? Okay.
But there's also instinct and like it's balancing like instinct and like your like what you want for yourself and what you know you can do best at, because like in my instinct I'm like I just want to take photos because that's easy. I can make beautiful photos, probably more beautiful than videos. Like it's like prettier, it's like easier for me, and like it's more simple, and I love like taking photos. But videos is like also the other side where it's like pushing me to like work really hard in something that I'm not comfortable in.
Wow.
And for you it could go the other way. Maybe you hate taking photos and you really like talking in front of a camera, but you want to push yourself to do better photos, or with writing or with voice, and it just depends. There's sometimes it aligns and both they're the same thing, but it's okay you want to push yourself in something different as well. It might even be better.
Okay, so knowing that medium for that. So tell us about the big leap where you just quit and you just went travel and took video. So why travel and share your story through that inspiration?
So I wear this shirt every day, and it's like a sideways smiley face, right? It's
old school smiley face?
Yeah, the original emoji. It's like
Yeah.
the first emoji. So I'll go to like every country, and people will know what this means. They'll come talk to me in whatever language that I don't understand. But I think like eventually at one point I was like, what is the meaning of life? Like, why are we all here? And that's like the big thing, right? And at the end of the day, I was like, I thought about that a lot. I think a lot of people think about that. And then at the end of the day, I really just thought like, it doesn't really matter what the meaning of life is, but you just better like live it well. And so to me, it was like live a fulfilling life, be happy. And that's why I wear this shirt, because it reminds me, what am I seeking in life? What are all of us seeking in life is just to be a little bit more fulfilled, a little bit happier. So it reminds me to like look for what makes me happy. But traveling comes in because, you can't find like how to be happy in Monterey, California, or how to be happy in only Wisconsin. You have to like, people are happy around the world for different reasons, and I really wanted to dive into the like human condition of like what it means to be happy in the, whether you are a billionaire or you're living below the international poverty line. I wanted to know like what makes people happy, what makes life fulfilling, what makes life good. So this shirt is like, on the outside it's like this like really simple smiley face, and like I don't think fulfillment in life is only smiling and being happy, but that's what like this represents, because that's what people think of when they think of happiness. So I just traveled because the human condition is about being happy. Everything that we do, everything that we want boils down to how we think it's gonna make us feel. Like no one wants money because we like some dead person's face on a piece of paper, right?
I never looked like that.
We want money because we think it'll buy us happiness. We think it'll buy us some sort of feeling, some sort of security, some sort of umph in life, right? No one cares about like, no one cares like about whoever's picture. Like it could be a piece of paper with like whatever, a bug on there. Bugs are really cool. Something really lame on the piece of paper, But if it's like, if we think it's gonna buy us something, I think that's what places value on it. So like everything we want in life, whether that's traveling, whether that's money, whether that's a car, it's like we think it's not. We don't want to buy that. We just use that to buy a feeling, We always, even experiences are about feelings, right? We go skydiving because it makes us feel a certain way.
So from that exact mindset, that feeling, you're like, what? I'm just gonna take the leap and go travel, and you felt like that was your outlet to really experience and just see what happens too, right? Okay. So
travel, meeting people.
Travel, meeting people, and simple. And then obviously that manifested when you're recording stuff, and people actually like, I care about what you're doing, and I actually wanted to do my whole life, but But you know what? What's amazing about this is that you only been doing this 9 months, right?
9 months.
9 months. That's quick. That's what it's an end-of-year transformation, and people think sometimes you gotta build yourself up, you gotta get credible, you gotta do this and that. But the thing that really stands out with Neng, and why I'm here talking with him specifically today, is because he took action right away. He had a belief, and he just went for it. And obviously, he didn't have all the questions to answer. Like, they're unknown, and he's still discovering the process. You're still learning right now, right?
Every day.
And some people think, oh my gosh, how are you doing this? And you're obviously answering questions you're constantly applying, but you're growing at the same time while you're evolving. And it's because you took that initial leap. And you know that adversity from your parents, you know that you weren't fulfilled. And the thing about that too is that you exposed right now in this conversation is you broke the stereotype that people need money for happiness. I think money can bring happiness experiences.
It's essential. It's important.
But it's a resource. We need it. But it's not the core reason why we need it. It's because we want about experience. We want to support ourselves. Whatever it is. Obviously, everyone has different ambitions with money, right? Yours was to experience life, experience the happiness, that you talk about. And for myself, obviously, you guys know that I want money so I can build a giant business, influence people more at a deeper level with advertising, but as well, so I can spend time with gentlemen like Neng, women like Neng, with inspiring stories to share. And I think right there, it's something for you to understand that just don't settle for less, man. Look at his dream.
Yeah.
Look at what you can do. Break those stereotypes. Have that belief and really follow through that merit.
Follow through,
And
yeah.
no matter what, just go for it. And I mean, obviously, everyone has a different process journey, but you can learn a lot from Neng. So now let's transition from the story portion. Obviously, Neng, you're still doing your travel and everything.
Yep.
Let's do something a little more fun so your audience can
Sure.
understand who you are. So tell us, what is the most embarrassing thing that happened to you during your travel? I know something embarrassing happened to you.
During my travels. Ooh.
So now we're transitioning to this little fun portion.
It's
Neng,
always
what is it?
the small moments that define who you are, right?
Oh man, that's deep.
I don't know if
What's the
it
embarrassing
will be
moment?
a traveling story. I don't know if it wasn't on this trip, but
Okay.
it was. I was training for a position during college.
Okay.
I was traveling to Latin America and doing like a supervisor
Uh-huh.
position there for a project in the national parks. So I was in Austin, Texas,
Okay.
training at like the nonprofit headquarters. I was like training on how to do my job, and in the morning, this is like a 3-day retreat. So I flew from Boston to Austin to do this, and then it was like a 3-day retreat. So we would get up at 8 o'clock, and then we would like do our training until 4 p.m. standard thing. But we would it was a room of probably around 100 people, maybe slightly less, but like a good amount of people, staff that were going like all around South America and Latin America, Central America, and so we were warming up, and because of the dynamics of travel, sometimes, especially in like the academic nonprofit setting, most of those travelers are women. So it was like 90% women and like 10% guys. So we just kind of like spread
I
around.
was surrounded by a beautiful woman.
I know. Never works out for me. We're in this
There we
big
go.
gym
Okay.
doing Zumba
Zumba.
to warm up because it was at 8 a.m. They wanted to wake everyone up before like training. So we were like doing Zumba, like hopping around, and there's an instructor up front.
Okay.
And I'm like in the second row.
Okay.
Second row middle, so everyone can see me doing Zumba. And I'm not like a great Zumba person anyway. It's just like
Okay.
the first time I've ever done Zumba, but I'm watching this instructor do Zumba, and I'm copying everything she does, right? Because
Sure.
she's the leader.
Sure.
And she like goes like this, right? So I go like this too, and then I look around me and like, why is no one doing this except me? And then I realized after like 10 seconds that she was like fixing her bra.
Oh. Okay.
So I was
you had
like-
I knew you were wearing a bra. No,
I was like
you were wearing a bra, man?
fixing my imaginary
Oh.
bra. So I was
Oh, wow.
like fixing my imaginary bra, and I'm looking at all these girls around me,
Yeah.
and none of them are doing it because they obviously understand what she's
Yeah.
doing, but because I'd never worn a bra before, I was like going like this,
Yeah.
and then all the girls like around me were just like laughing at me.
Oh man.
And I think like at that time, it was probably one of the most embarrassing moments of my life because
yeah.
I was just like, oh, I'm surrounded by beautiful women,
Yeah.
but this is why it never works out for me. But
That's funny. So were you like this, or you like going like this, or you like going like?
I was
this?
like fixing my imaginary
like-
bra
Okay.
straps and like the back and everything, and
Give me emotion. Let's pretend you're doing Zumba right now.
you
Give
know,
me
like you're going to the side and then
Ooh.
you're like fixing this,
Ooh.
and I'm like, I thought because you're going like this, so I
Yeah.
thought it was like part of the exercise.
Oh,
I'm like looking
it's a
around.
weird
and, like,
exercise. I
yeah,
never did.
like no one's doing it, and then
This is what Zumba is.
and then I was
Yeah.
like, I bet you like all the other guys are probably doing it too.
But you look around, none of them are doing it.
I didn't ask, and I didn't see them because it was like mostly girls.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't ask because I was too embarrassed to ask. I didn't want to be like, hey, did you make yourself look like an idiot too?
Yeah. No, I agree, man. So now we talk about something embarrassing. Now let's get in the portion. Second, number 2, uno, dos. Yeah, all is show us your talent. What talent do you have you can show us today? Neng, that not everybody knows, or maybe they do know. You just want to show it. What can you do for us today?
Right here? Oh, I don't know. I can lick my elbow.
Oh, you get the heck? I've always wondered how to do that. Can you lick both at the same time? Oh, you got that venom tongue. That long. Oh my gosh.
I can't lick my nose, see?
Gosh, you got that.
There's like
long-
people that can lick their nose, but
That's crazy,
Yeah.
man. Can you do both elbows?
no, not.
Oh, okay.
You need that like leverage.
Yeah,
you know?
leverage.
Like,
Yeah, okay. Wow.
Because
that's
I heard like no one could do
Oh.
that in the 7th grade, and then I did it, and everyone was like, "What the?"
You got
Yeah.
most talented of the year award.
It was a summer camp, you know.
Summer
yeah,
camp, okay.
everyone was like, "Oh."
Cool. All right, next one. dance move. Do you got any dance move? I love dancing, y'all. But I want to see, Neng, what kind of dance moves you got, man?
You know, I'm a break dancer, or used to be.
Okay.
In college, I was on the Harvard Breakers.
Do you have any footage of it?
Ooh, I have footage of me like b-boying around like different parts of the world.
Yeah.
Cause like hip hop is awesome, right?
Oh, yeah,
like
of
you
course.
you might go
Hip-hop,
to
yeah.
like a plaza in like Peru, and then you'll find like b-boys like
Ooh.
dancing, and it's such a universal language, you know, dance and movement. So you just go up and they're like doing their cipher. Sometimes they do it for like money on the streets.
Yeah.
So
Street
like
thing.
you just go dance with them, and it's like hilarious. But yeah, I used to try to dabble in breakdancing.
Dude, that's dope. Do you have any of that? You need to send me some of that footage. I'll put it in this video right now so you can see his skills.
All right, I'll send you
Yeah, and
some.
if anyone want to battle him, we'll give you that hotline, 1-800-BATTLE-NENG.
Yep.
And if you beat him, you get a travel phone. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
Sponsored by- No.
Sponsored by me. It's on me. All right. But okay, so that's cool. So now let's get the last question I have. So Neng, throughout this conversation, we talked a little about history, the merit, embarrassing moments. Cool. What is the last words, my friend, that you want to leave with the viewers watching right now? You talk a lot about inspiring through story.
Yeah.
You have a story through content creating. What do you want to leave with them so that they can move further in their legacy?
You know, I think I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but just
Bucket record.
yeah, broken
Okay.
record, but just work hard. It's the only thing that you have control over is work.
Work. Okay.
You don't have control over anything else in your life, really. You know, you can't choose your parents. You can't choose
Ooh.
how rich you were born. You
Ooh.
can't choose like how like you know naturally talented you are at something if you
Ooh.
believe in that. But the only thing you can like really and natural talent really is just hard work. You know, it's 99%
wow.
hard work and maybe
Okay.
1% talent. So like the really only thing that you have control of is hard work, and that's what you're gonna get merit from. That's where you're gonna earn that merit. That's where you're gonna earn every single thing. So the only thing you have for you is hard work and happiness, fulfillment in life. Everything good does not come with. It's not given to you. You know, you have to work really hard for it, and it's like
Okay.
contradictory to say you have to work for happiness sometimes because it feels like work is not supposed to make you happy because work is like hard and you have to work and you have to be slaving away 8 hours a day. But
Get that paycheck. And then
yeah,
you'll find
yeah.
that.
But
Okay.
like working is going to get you happy. It will build you that happiness. You just have to be so self-aware about what you really want, and I think so. It's kind of a two thing, right? Work hard, but also like self-awareness. Know who you are. Don't lie to yourself. You know, I think we all do that. We all kind of lie to ourselves. We all kind of like, instead of saying I am X, Y, and Z, we kind of like to think of ourselves as, instead of saying I am X, Y, and Z, we think of ourselves as I want to be this, and that. So I am this, and that. Even though we are not this, and that yet, we are still at X, Y, and Z stage. So you have to be really honest. Are you there yet? What can you do to get there? And I think a lot of people aren't honest to themselves. And you always know when you're lying to yourself, right? You just choose to ignore that like lie. So it's really hard. And I think recently, even for myself, I've really like started to come to terms of like talking to myself like, Neng, like who are you like kidding yourself? Like you're not gonna wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow. You have to force yourself to do that. You know, set
Okay.
your phone on the other side of the room or something. Yeah. So it's just like those small things, you know, being like self-aware about what you want
Okay.
and being willing to work hard for it.
Ooh.
And that's like, yeah, the only two things that really matter in life for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's inspiring. And I like how simple that was. I know that we get lost in our head and what people tell us, or even who we hang out with, or even just like how we feel. But really just going for it, from our conversation, like you said, working hard for it, that self-awareness, going for it. The merit from your story, just taking that opportunity. A lot of people see this as a risk.
Yeah.
Right? But the risk is not taking it. Remember I told
Yeah,
you that?
that's the biggest risk in life is not taking any risks.
Exactly. And I see that more as an opportunity and not risk. So now in this conversation, thanks, Neng, for your time.
Thank you,
and
Don.
brother. Man, it is a pleasure.
My
man.
pleasure.
There's more to come, more
Yeah,
action.
absolutely.
Hey, you guys, check out his channel. He does some great travel. He shares stories. That's the big thing. He shares the people, the culture.
Yep.
I mean, it's wonderful, and I'm really inspired by really just who you are and what are you going after.
Thank
really
you.
just genuine. It's funny because I want to share this last thing. Yesterday, another day actually, we were at speaking banquet event. That's where I met him. And heard him a keynote speaker.
Yeah.
He's also a speaker, by the way. And him just being like in his clothes, he was in his, just normal
I was in
outfit,
this.
smiling. He's
Yeah.
in this outfit. Everybody's in suits, outfits fresh, award ceremony, formal. And businesses where everybody's like, I'm gonna come in like this. I'm a boss. I'm a content creator. This is who I am genuine. This is my story. This is who I am. And love me for it. And simply, that was it. And that's why I was so bold of this guy. And from here, I hope you're inspired from the message. I hope you can use it to get to the next steps of your dreams and be the legacy that you dream to be. My name is Don, aka Goldenboi, at the Goldenboi Show. I'm here with Neng.
Be true to yourself. Yep.
Take care, my friends. Until the next episode.
Yes, I'ma love you like you love Johnny Cash.
I'll be your gangster, I'll be your man in black.